you've got plus size women that, very few, like you said, that are out there promoting certain things, and it can always be put out there, like they said, that they're promoting an unhealthy lifestyle, etc., etc. They shouldn't be put out, or blah blah blah. But as a plus size woman yourself, what do you consider the difference between being plus size and promoting it in a healthy way, and plus size and actually just being unhealthy?
What do I see as the difference?
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's promoting anything in an unhealthy way, because the people who I see, when I see those comments and when I look at the people they're referring to, it's just people living their lives. So it's like promoting something that's, I don't know if I agree with maybe the language used. Maybe that's what it is. Because I don't think anybody is promoting an unhealthy lifestyle. That's just how they're choosing to live.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you don't like it, if you don't agree with it, then
don't look.
So I'm not sure about, maybe it's just a language thing. I'm not sure about the whole promoting an unhealthy lifestyle. But I think in my situation, so people would say that. So in this situation, it's just stupid because it's dance, which is fitness. Which is something, it's exercise, however you want to see it, so to say, I don't see how the promoting an unhealthy lifestyle ties into it. I don't know if anyone disagrees in that sense. We can talk about that. But I don't know how dancing, I am plus size, I'm not promoting it, I'm not promoting anything. It's like, that's just who I am and I'm dancing. So where's the negativity in that? I'm not sure.
See, I personally, when I look, and not because I know you, but I don't see it as anything negative, because like you said, dance is fitness. There's people that are my size, smaller, bigger, that don't do any fitness at all. Yeah? In the sense of they're not putting anything out there to say, like, this is what I'm doing. And like you said, there's people that are plus size and just, they're doing, not in a rude way, I can think of, but when you say like a slobbish way in terms of they're just bad eating habits, doing nothing. If you've got someone that's, like you said, just living, that's different to someone who's actively doing something.
Yeah. So I personally haven't seen, because like I said, when I see those comments of like, you're promoting an unhealthy lifestyle, the people that I see those comments directed towards, I've only just seen people living their life.
Yeah.
So I've not seen, maybe I just haven't seen it. So for me, it's just like, yeah, I mean, it's like, what is promoting? I don't know, what is promoting that unhealthy lifestyle? I don't know, like, what does that actually look like? What does it look like? Do you know what I'm trying to say? But also, can I just say, before you say that, it's like, I'm not promoting an unhealthy lifestyle, but I wouldn't say that I'm also here because I'm promoting fitness and I'm promoting to be super healthy. I'm literally just I'm living my life. Do you get what I mean? So I think there's always this, people put extra titles on things. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not showing up to say, right, I'm going to show how you can be healthy. That's also not what I'm doing.
So, look, this isn't my world. So I'm just listening and having my own opinion, my own 2 cents. Right? So the way I see it, because I'm quite a literal, logical person, is like this. There's people who are overweight because they eat unhealthily. And then there's people who are just big boned. They're naturally bigger, isn't it? And I think that some people can't differentiate between the two. So you'd see a bigger person and then just assume that they're eating everything all day, every day. Yeah? That's the natural that I see that people are seeing. Yeah. So I think that's where it comes down to, because when it comes to promoting a negative lifestyle, if it's coming from the people who are literally overweight because of their bad eating habits, I'm not talking about disability or anything like that, I'm just talking about just naturally bad eating habits, right? Then that would be some form of promotion, because what happens is when you step into any limelight, regardless how big or how small, you naturally take on a what's the word I'm looking for? Responsibility for the people coming after you and the people that are looking up to you, right? So obviously it's going to be very hard to tell why someone's overweight without speaking to them directly,
But isn't that the main point? That how would you know? Like,
well, it's about
like,
breaking that view that all people overweight have bad eating habits, isn't it?
Yeah. But so I guess it's like different things then, because you're talking about the eating, but if we're just talking about health, first of all, maybe it's just a thing of like defining what is health, because what might be healthy to me might not be healthy to somebody else. I can't just look at someone and say, oh, you're healthy, you're unhealthy, especially if it's just, oh, you're slimmer, you're healthy, you're bigger, you're unhealthy. Like that, it doesn't work like that. That's not how health works. But do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, someone can be a size 10, can never go to the gym, could be eating McDonald's all day. Like, I don't know that. I don't know what that person's lifestyle is. So I can't just look at someone and say, yeah, you're healthy. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Well, there could be somebody
I think there are telltale signs if someone's healthy or not, because the people that are skinny,
disagree with that.
the people that are skinny, in your example, the people that are skinny that have horrendous diets, it reflects on, you know, their skin. It reflects on how they look in terms of they look like full or tired. It reflects if they're aching when they get up. Like, there are parameters that are kind of standard across human nature that would say this person is fit because that person is unfit because. And don't get me wrong, within yourself you have a different level of how fit you are for you, but there is a general.
So are we talking about fitness or are we talking about health?
Well,
that's what I'm trying to say. How do you define health? I guess that's the question, because are you talking about, because you're talking about food on one sense, then you're talking about fitness, but is that how, I'm just asking, is that how you see health?
For me personally, it ties in. It's like you can't have one without the other.
Yeah,
for me, it just doesn't really work, right? So if you are unhealthy, it's very unlikely. So if you have a bad eating habit, right, it's very unlikely that you are going to be fit. It's very, very unlikely you're going to be fit, because, and what I mean by that is,
if you eat very unhealthily.
So if
because even I'm not sure about that one. And you know why I say that? Because
fit in what sense?
When you say fitness, because are you? I've watched people that, in terms of like their endurance, there's certain things that they don't necessarily go gym and stuff. But if I ask them to run like 300 yards, they've done it. If I ask them to do like certain things fitness wise, they're fine, and they eat like trash.
Okay, cool. So if you asked an unfit person, if you take the same person, say they're a size 6, you put one on a good diet and one on a bad diet, and told them to run 100 meters.
You'll see
the one in the good diet would run it quicker than the one on the bad diet.
I agree with that.
Right.
But,
So therefore,
but then you might still have one that's fit and one that's fitter.
No.
No, the reason why I say that is because you could have somebody that is on a so-called good diet. I've seen, like, it depends how your body's set up in terms of, you could be transitioning there. I've seen people that are on great eating diets, but their fitness still doesn't match up, and that's when, like, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but when the health meets the fitness, because someone could be doing everything great fitness wise, eating healthily, doing that, but there's something there might be triggered in their health that still affects it.
If you're eating badly, it affects your mind, it affects your body, and it affects your soul. So they're all interchangeable into one.
But
so regardless, what do you mean?
When we say eating
bad
badly,
is subjective.
Yeah, and I think
no, it isn't. No, it isn't. Bad isn't subjective. If you eat 20 Big Macs, that is not subjective. If you eat high sugar, a lot of sugar, processed foods, that's not subjective.
But then if you eat solely veg, for example, someone might say that's great, but for somebody else's system, that's not so great. So too much of any one thing could be a bad thing.
No.
So
We're talking about eating.
So you're going to the extreme.
All right, but listen to what you said. You said bad habits because exactly.
Okay.
Well, I was going to say this,
and it's eating patterns.
I was, you know, the reason why I kept on asking about health, what we're talking about here, health, whatever, because it's going to be different to a lot of people. Clearly, why it's a debate and it's a topic, and I feel like, especially when it comes to ethnicity, that also plays a big role, especially how, like, even just how fat is distributed in people's bodies, for like a white woman to a black woman, that could be very, very different. Ethnicity
it's like
played a part.
It's like BMI is vast. Like black
All-
people shouldn't take the BMI test because it's vastly.
Yeah, so
inaccurate
I'm
amongst
just
black
saying
people.
like there's layers to it, literally, and there's all these different factors. So when you're talking about food, obviously you're going to the extreme of eating 10 Big Macs a
Macs,
day and stuff like that. But you know, for culturally,
White
so
man's
eating
processes.
so eating like things that are oily, or like frying food in certain cultures, whatever. Someone can look at that and like frying stuff, oil. That's really unhealthy.
Yes, it's unhealthy.
I think
I'm
we need to
not-
highlight something though, yeah, because whether we like it or not, individually, yeah, we all come as a corporation, a business. When you step out there, you are representing your business. That's promoting something whether you know it or not.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea about people being overweight or someone saying that like you're promoting a certain lifestyle, whether you're slim or big, you are promoting something, regardless of whatever. It's just what's unhealthy to you. So when a person's coming at you and saying certain things, it's projecting. Because as you said, you don't have to be big to be unhealthy. You can be slim and be
Definitely.
unhealthy. It's just, what are you attaching unhealthy to?
But
So
I also don't think
unhealthy.
I also
unhealthy-
don't think if you see somebody who is above a certain size, to just say they are that size or they look like that because they're eating shit all the time.
Oh, definitely.
I
definitely
think
not.
that is
Definitely.
ridiculous.
I agree.
So that's why I'm saying you can't. Back to my point, you can't just look at someone, be like, you're lazy, you're eating shit.
That's
That's
just
why you
sheer
look like that.
judgment. Yeah.
You're
That-
unhealthy.
But then we get into
that is
CTO,
true.
Do you get what I'm trying to
the
say?
public
So-
opinions. Why do we actually care about
I knew you were
other
gonna say that,
people
that's not
and
right.
what
But
they're
it's
doing?
true.
It's the Western world
And
standards.
most of us are not even fixed within ourselves. So why the fuck do we
I
care
think
about
it-
other
it's
people?
I think
It is
I think
projection.
it 100% projection,
It's
and
projection.
100% agree with what you're saying. So and it goes back to saying that there's different types of people, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's big boned and there's people that eat excessively, so therefore it has a rebound effect. Yeah, I know, right? So I'm not talking about the people who are big boned. I'm narrowing down on the people who generally eat too much. That's what I'm saying. But I get everyone is individual and everyone has their own fitness levels, but don't be fooled into thinking that that's okay because everyone has their own fitness levels. It's like if you have an unhealthy lifestyle, it will limit your life expectancy. Like it's not a case of, okay, so there could be a super skinny girl or overweight girl on TV, and you know it's okay because their fitness level is different to somebody else's, but it's okay for them. There are there are guidelines that you should be within for your own personal body that either says if you're above it, you're overweight, or if you're below it, you're malnourished essentially, and therefore it's
What
not
guidelines?
affecting
Even
it's not
underweight,
affecting
you know?
it's not affecting me if Ant was bigger or smaller, but for him that could really bring on complications later on. So it could bring on diseases, heart diseases. It could be fat in your veins, which makes it harder for your blood to pump around. Like these are real things that people suffer from.
100%.
So I just don't want us to gloss over and be like, well, it's subjective to the person because you know because there are parameters.
I always find it interesting that the topic of health and people being concerned and things like that is always if you're bigger. So never
No,
if
I think it's also if you're skinny.
you don't.
Well,
I think if you look
I
at if
do
you
not
look
think
in
so.
the Western world,
I do
in the-
not think
there was
so.
a moment when they was talking about
Size
size zero.
zero.
But,
Yes.
but
That was the
I don't play in the
stand-
Western world.
that
In the
was
black community,
standard.
what do we talk about? If you're skinny, so in the black community, it's very much skinny. So
Yeah, but wait,
thick-
a minute ago we wasn't talking about the black community. We were talking generally, no?
No,
Or
it
was
was,
not?
but when I'm saying about when we're talking about now, because
Yeah.
he brought up Western world,
Okay.
I'm saying I don't play in the Western world anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah, but
So
ain't we talking about matters underneath it though?
well, we could talk about matters underneath it,
No,
but
we
if
definitely-
No, we were.
we're talking generally, then yeah. So if we're talking generally, as you said in your hair topic,
Mhm.
the beauty standard is definitely Eurocentric. Yeah,
Mhm.
100% Eurocentric. Skinny, white girl,
Straight blonde
straight
hair.
blonde,
That's the
straight
epitome
nose.
of beauty.
That's the epitome.
Mhm.
If we're talking about what we represent on Dissecting Minds, yeah, then for me, I don't think that it's solely big girls. We are concerned about big girls. I think we're also concerned about slim girls. And I think it's quite.
I was just talking about society and the way a bigger person is seen and the outrage and all that type of stuff compared to somebody who is slimmer. Because if we're talking about going back to the actual general topic of health, there's not the same attitudes and there's not the same outrage or comments to somebody who may be slimmer, who may be unhealthy.
It's a fact.
Do you know what? I'm going to agree. And
do you get what I'm trying to say?
Go
I
ahead.
think we really need to start thinking about obviously you can't forget it, but we keep focusing on each other. And we have to understand who set up these constructs of our unhealthy situations. Of when you think about America, how they the doctor was telling us, Aubrey, he was telling us they basically put certain chemicals in certain foods that go to certain areas.
Yes.
And I remember you told me the other day when I was eating
they still do it with how they put shops as well.
What contributes to that is what we really need to be asking, because that is the root of where we're getting. Because obviously we're going to get unhealthy anyway, because we've either got crap media, crap self-image,
mind, body, and soul.
crap food. The stuff they're making us use is poisoning us anyway, or the hair you're using is probably
products,
got some chemicals in it that's fucking up going into your bloodstream. So
which it does, yeah.
It's that we need to deal with those constructs, if that makes sense.
And the only reason why this is such a difficult conversation is because we're not actually highlighting what the root cause is. It's the white man. I'm telling you.
I knew that was coming as well.
I'm telling you.
Okay, interview done. Yeah, everyone go home. That's it. What's more to say?
I'm telling you, because it's like, this is what always happens. It's like we can go back and forth, but it's like, where's the narrative coming from?
But
I think with that one it's quite difficult, because if you look back in history, the people that ate the most was seen to be more wealthy, right? It's like that's a fact, yeah. So the more you could put out on your dinner table, the more peas and the bread you look like you've got, right? So I don't think that is the fundamental issue. The fundamental issue is similar to what Jay is saying about when or who thought it would be a good idea to inject whatever they're injecting into our food, yeah? Now, no, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
Who's so sinister?
I know, I can't.
Like, but it's like, you know what it is? When you actually look at it, it's like, there ain't really nothing else to say.